What's going on, everyone? American in Leeds, the YouTube channel. My name is Alex Simon from Alaska to Australia, New York to the Netherlands, Bangkok to Beeston. Welcome in to the show. We'll hopefully keep this to about 10 minutes. If we go longer, that is okay. Look, a lot of news breaking over the weekend. Wanted to talk a little bit about the outgoings, what that could tell us about a managerial search, and just a few other little nuggets of information that I think we should consider. Smash the like as you come in. We're 1 for 1 on the likes. It's very early in the UK, so I haven't gone live in a minute, so I just figured I'm going to go live on my phone. But I don't say this enough. I do have to ask for the like. It kicks the algorithm on. It means a ton. So take the moment, open up your phone, as most people will be digesting this Wednesday morning. Happy Wednesday to everyone. I hope you are well. Look, we have transfers that are pretty rock solid here. We got Diego Llorente on loan to Roma. I think that's a good thing. Interesting that it's on loan. Christensen on a permanent to Roma is the possibility, I believe. That's another interesting one. Then the most interesting one to me is Fulham approach for Brendan Aronson on loan. Obviously, I think a lot of players have their agents pushing to get out of Leeds because of the relegation. But the tweet went on to say, or the information that's being leaked that said many players have loan clauses, which we've been hearing about, right? We've been hearing about these loans that the agents are leaking out. So many Leeds players have loan clauses because of the relegation clause. But in the case of Brendan Aronson and possibly others, kind of inferring that, but the clause states that Leeds have to accept the offer at 100% of the player's wages. In other words, the team like Fulham that might be interested in Brendan Aronson have to pick up the wages at 100%. And we all know that in the case of Brendan Aronson, he's paid probably over what his value is, okay? So I talked about this in previous pod episodes with the fellas. I talked about this on my channel a lot. I believe that the 49ers will play hardball with these players, and they might be a little disgruntled going in. I think this is different. I think they have capital by which they are not necessarily willing. They are willing to eat money in order for the long-term vision of this club to get back into the Premier League. In other words, a lot of these players, I don't know, I think they're on the bubble of whether they could play in the Premier League or not. They certainly couldn't start for every single team in the Premier League, but that doesn't mean they couldn't get on the team. And I just think that the 49ers are going to play hardball with them. If they do wind up selling some of these players, I think it will be towards the end of the window. I think they will even start training camp at Leeds and might even definitely play. You might see them feature in the friendlies. I think you might even see them play in August. So that's just an interesting one to me. I think, unless they are obligated to, I don't see Parag immediately selling or even loaning some of these players out. I think they're willing to play the long game. Maybe possible long ball, but long game. The other interesting one to me is Christensen out the door. Okay, so can this tell us something about the next manager, which everyone in the rumor mill, in the circles, in the deep web, in the dark web is saying is Fark. Okay. And obviously the bookies are probably saying that it's Fark or Farka or Farke. Um, Look, I dug in on Fark. Obviously, he's got the two trophies with Norwich. He's got a good CV. I have reservations if the long-term vision of this club is to be in the Premier League, whether he can really do it. Now, the narrative is that he was not backed in the Premier League. I'm willing to buy that a little bit, but there are some crooked scores that he has, and two. I mean, I don't know if both of them are pinned to him, but one definite relegation on his resume, and some 7-0s against Chelsea, I believe. He's gotten worked a little bit, so let's not just say that he knows he does know how to get out of this league. I'm willing to say that, but will he have the chops to continue on? And for me, I would like ultimately a coach that can kick on into the Prem and fully back. So we'll see. One thing that triggered me when I dug into Fark. First of all, the positive is the gegenpressing. That's great. We probably have players that could be reinstilled a gegenpressing type system. Obviously, a Max Wober, a lot of the Red Bull guys, like a Brendan Aronson if he does stay, like a Tyler Adams if he does stay. Obviously, Christensen is gone, but we have players that can probably reinstill the pressy side. I'm okay with that. But I got triggered when I heard that he sometimes likes to attack narrow and that fullbacks provide the width. That is triggering to me again, and maybe a sign as to why he got figured out in the Prem. But more of his tactics will be unveiled in the coming weeks. I just think it's something to pay attention to, as he has a German style. Some people say he models Klopp more than maybe a Red Bull type system. Um, I hope that's true. Um, Look, we are. It'll be interesting to see. So it'll be interesting to see if Fark is announced. They really haven't given us anything besides a paragraph with Acer and 49er Enterprises letterhead. So will it be the glossy, the glossy press release with the photos of him holding up the scarf, with him looking around Ellen Road with a video with the lights flashing? When that announcement happens to me is important, and how it's unpacked is important. If it's a press release, I don't know. Hopefully that means they're busy at work. If it's the glossy thing, I want to see more from the ownership to to know more that the 49ers are at the wheel. I want to see Parag in front of the camera. I want to see Parag in front. I am patient, and I'm patient because I wanted them to get the right manager, but I do want to see a little bit of the new ownership Q&A. He doesn't have to go in front of a full press conference, but I do want to see maybe a one-on-one interview with Parag at some point, because if the ownership has gone through the EFL, if the ink is dry on everything, I do want to see a nice interaction with the fans, because we have been kept in the dark since since May 28th. We've been kept in the dark, so I want to see him come out of the shadows a little bit, as he did when he first took an ownership stake in the club uh, all those years ago in the championship. So it'll just be interesting to me to see how they roll all of it out. 16 days until scum. 16 days until scum. Just over 2 weeks. A lot of news is going to break based on the first real outgoing. Diego Llorente was really already, his back was already, he was already, his back was already to us. Christensen is more of an interesting one to me, and that spells to me maybe the manager, if it is Fark, doesn't like the way he gets up and down the field as a fullback. because, again, in a system where the fullbacks provide the width, specifically in attacking situations, he just didn't like the crosses, the ability to get up and down the field. I think that's me guessing that someone's already starting to call the shots and say that he's expendable. So I think we're about to hit an absolute flood next week of really starting today, starting Monday, all this week of information from the ownership to the manager to, wouldn't surprise me to see 5 hit the door immediately this week, whether it be on loan or permanent deals. And I think we're all anxious as well to see who's coming in. And so hopefully the good news keeps going. That's it for me. Much more news coming. I'm going to try to, just a couple of channel notes. I'm going to try to continue to do the regular stuff with the boys, the North Americans plus Jeer on Thursdays, if everybody can join. That'll be the anchor kind of show that we have. And then, I'll just try to come in and break, whether it be a 10-minute upload or a live as stuff breaks this next couple of weeks, because I would expect, if there's 16 days, the 12th of July is when we play Scum. I would expect the manager, to start really weighing people in, and you start to see training sessions and measurables and all that other stuff that they do as they get players in the door, really by July 2nd or July 4th, July 5th, something like that. So, again, I am going to expect some of the players who think that they might be too good for this league to have to show up anyways, which is probably healthy for their egos. That's my time marching on together. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.